Hello, book besties.
I'm Albie.
And I'm Nikki,
Welcome to Backstage with the Book Babes.
where we spill the tea on the secret lives of your favorite romance authors.
We have a fantastic romance author with us today. We can't wait to introduce you to her. First off, what have you been up to, Nikki?
Well, this Saturday I was talking about how I've been doing my roller derby thing, but my husband booked this wine event to go to. So I'm considering something reward because I just got my short story in for the apology, and I've got all the edits back for my next book from the editor. So I'm going to consider it like a little bit of a celebration. It's going to be like wine and some local breweries and stuff. And then they have a thousands kind of cover band. So that should be fun. And they're doing charcuterie, but I'm vegetarian and they have vegan charcuterie. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But then it's like right after my roller derby learn to skate thing that I've been doing. So I was like, okay, that's nice. I love that you booked that for me. That's going to be so fun. But you have to drive me to roller derby and then come and pick me up. And then I can change there and we can go straight down to the wine thing. We're going with a couple of our friends. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. And that's the anthology for Reader Nation, right? In
Yes.
November?
Yes. So
Perfect. So people should be keeping an eye out for that Kickstarter, I think, right?
Yes. I think they're going to launch the Kickstarter in July, but I'll be posting more information about that on all my socials and everything. The theme of it is all in because Reader Nation takes place in Vegas. And my story is one of the characters from my hockey romance books. It's a side character that he's a fan favorite side character. He's like the chaos monkey, like just.
Love that.
Yeah. And his female main character is a soccer player. So that's going to be fun. And this is a short story. It'll end with, happy for now sort of thing. But I'm going to give them a full length story eventually because they deserve it, especially JJ.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
So this episode's coming out June 3rd, and my book launches in 1 week or less than a week. I don't know. Time is really hard, especially when you're in the past talking about the future. I don't know when we are, but I'm really excited about it. It's going to be like trick shot celebrity, workplace romance, and I just think it's going to be really fun. It's kind of inspired by Dude Perfect, and so it's called Bro Awesome. Because I like the play on words because everything that's punny is like really funny. So yeah. So that's what's going on with us. And now we're very excited to introduce you to a longtime friend of mine. I don't even know how long. Maude Winters, a huge book babe. Welcome to you, Maude.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I think it's been like 3 years, but it seems like both a lifetime and literally just yesterday at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like now that we're post-pandemic, I don't know what time is anymore.
Yeah.
No,
Seriously.
no.
I have no idea.
No,
So
nobody knows. And I think it's like a combination of post-pandemic and also getting older. Like as you get older, time just takes on a whole different sort of flow than it did before.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. And I get up and work every day no matter what, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
Right.
So Maude, we are excited to have you on, but can you tell our listeners a little bit about your books? Because I know you have a couple different subgenres that you do.
Yeah, so I'm a contemporary open door romance author, and I write billionaire romance as well as Sapphic romance. I have a Sapphic series debuting right now. When we're recording this, it releases tomorrow, so it'll be out by the time this is out.
Exciting.
And I will already be announcing my next in the series there. But yeah, I write billionaires and royals on the male female side, and I write Sapphic on the other, and I have fruit characters in almost all of my books, if not all of them. So yeah, that's the sort of stuff I write.
And are your Sapphic romances, are they in specific kind of subgenre?
They're contemporary. I write straight up contemporary at this point. I might have a rom-com in there somewhere for a novella. Those are fun to write, but just straight up contemporary right now. I'm working on a project that's kind of genre bending, and that is a male female romance that I cannot say anything about right now because it's super secret.
Nice.
And are your other series interconnected?
All of my series are in the same universe.
Okay.
So literally all of them. The character in Love in the West End, one of the FMCs in this, Leah, I have been writing her since she was like conceived. I've been writing her dad since he was a child. The royals side of this, which is where she started, she's been in almost all of my series. Like she's just always in the mix. And she's such a character. But yeah, all of my books are interconnected in the same universe, which is exciting, I guess, to some people and confusing to others because they're like, really?
Yeah.
When they see a character that pops up.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how else to do it. That's just I've been
Yeah.
writing like serials and things all in the same universe for so long since childhood that it just continues. It's absolutely chaotic. I have so many spreadsheets of names and houses and families and yeah, it's chaotic, but it's the only way my brain knows.
Do you have it's been a long time since I've seen your website. Like, do you have on your website like an interactive map for people, for readers to follow, like, okay, this character's in this book, and then we can go over and be with the sister, and then the brother, and then like the parents. Do you
That
have
would be a
that?
question you would ask me. That would be a question you would ask me.
Well, I ask because
Um,
that's something that I'm working on. Like, because
it's
my
like
my books are gonna be the
Yeah.
same. And so I'm like, if you can do it first, and then I'll just copy the way you do it.
oh, okay. Yeah, if I had like a Gantt chart of that, I would
Yeah,
let you
exactly.
know. I
Yeah, and
don't,
then
but
you can
that's
just
a
give me your
great
source
idea.
coding and yeah.
A couple of my books have family trees in the royal
Mhm.
side because they are so interconnected. Leah is very connected to every royal family in Europe because of her heritage and her dad, one of her dads. And so if I had a chart for her, the irony of her, especially in this, is she's playing Queen Victoria and is directly related to Queen Victoria, right? But
Mhm.
was raised in America. So that's like what's so funny about the book. But yeah, I could do a family tree, but it would go on for now 4 generations, I think, which is intense.
Yeah.
And it only gets weirder. Like I just add more to it as I go. I love
Mhm.
writing characters and showing little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
My
That's
favorite thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so like what was the inspiration for shifting these subgenres and moving from MF to FF?
Yeah, so I started writing this book in a very different iteration like 3 times ago. This book came up, Love in the West End came up as a bedtime story that I made up for my kid in like a very sweet way. It is not sweet. The book itself is incredibly spicy. It had 7 scenes. It's very different than the bedtime story that I made up because my kid asked for a Sapphic love story for a bedtime story. And I was like, oh, I have a great character I can run with. It made sense, and I discovered that I have always liked writing heroines a lot more than heroes, 110%, and so I didn't have to head swap with a guy anymore, and it was great, and as I wrote this story and Power Move, which I've got here too, the pan heroine in this as well, like, I got to write her story, and her ex shows up in the next series. So when I talk about interconnected, this is like her ex is going to get an arc too. She's wonderful. But I really discovered that I love writing these things, and I came out in the course of writing these books over the number of iterations of writing this. But I just love writing strong female characters, and
Mhm.
writing Sapphic is just it's different, but my god, it's so rewarding in a way that I wasn't getting from male female romance, which is fun. And in many ways, you can do a lot more dark things on that side. I'm not going to write a dark sapphic romance. That's way outside of my wheelhouse. But
Mhm.
getting into like more hard, like crazy scenes on the billionaire side, it's a nice break from that and a little bit more towards yearning and swoony. And so I just needed a break. And now I've kind of got my
Yeah.
mojo back and I'm working on a male female romance. But yeah, I just needed a break. It was breaking my brain doing the male head swapping.
Fair.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
Do you think you'll continue to write some of your other billionaire or royal romances as well?
Yeah, actually, I have a royal romance that's arcing right now, which is a femdom, and that is coming out May 26th. So that will be out by the time this is out, and it's on NetGalley right now. And so I already have people reading it. I have plans to write at least 2 more books, and this may end up being a duet depending on how it does. So yeah, I am a prolific word thrower down. And like Albie, I have too many projects all at once and I write really fast. So drafts like spill out of me. And then I have this back catalog, which is how I started publishing to begin with. But yeah, for now, I'm focusing on getting that book out the door because it's a commitment. I have to get it out. Thanks, pre orders. And then doing book 2, I have a developmental edit for book 2, and that's going to start actually, I think, in the next couple of days. My editor is going to start touching my Eurovision book, and that'll be book 2 in the Sapphic series.
Oh, fun.
So I'm doing both right now. But yeah, who knows? It's kind of whatever strikes my fancy. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Pre-orders.
The future is always unknown.
Forcing us to focus since the beginning of time.
Yes.
That's kind of the nice part, though. I like the pre-orders for that because I will chase rabbits.
Yeah.
In fact, my editors even threatened to take away my internet connection. She's like, you shouldn't have internet. You need to go do all these other things. I'm like, look at this good idea, though. It's a project. And she's like,
calm down.
Go get some work done.
I always picture her in the author group chat. I always picture her seeing your ideas and going, it's like good and bad, because my developmental editor and I text daily. Like, she holds me accountable, and she'll be like, okay, so what are our goals? So like this week we set a goal, and I was like, I'm not going to lose my mind, and I'm going to get to the betrayal scene for this book I'm writing. And she's like, great, good goal. And then she's like, you cannot start another draft. Like, we cannot draft this other thing. Like, because 5 minutes ago I was like, I'm going to finish this. And then I'm like, I have this idea. No. Stop it.
Yeah, it's so hard.
I think I need one of those in my life. Someone needs to text me and be like, write the thing that you're writing.
She does author accountability services,
nice.
Which is, I literally pay her.
That's great.
To do. She does an alpha read. She does, because I write, like I said, I write fast, I release fast. She does my alpha reads or a beta, depending on where I'm at. And she'll do blurbs and hold me accountable and listen to me complain about,
nice.
crappy people on the internet. And that's worth it, right? That's worth the investment, I think. And it's not too much, but it is invaluable in many ways.
For
so
sure.
Shout out to Becky. You keep my sanity.
Nice.
Now, you said earlier that the new Sapphic one that's coming out, that's higher heat and it has 7 spicy scenes. What about your other books? How spicy do you think they are? And I know that's subjective, but
it is. I range, but lately it's been spicy. Now, I don't have that many dicks. I have like 1 dick at most. I've never written more than 1 dick.
You don't want to try like the trains and stuff? It's super fun.
No trains for me. I don't know how you do that. Like, again, 1 man is too much for me. Sometimes 2 men is as a thing. I don't think I've ever written 2 men in a scene. Oh, and that's not true. That's not true. I had a concept. I wrote an entire draft and started on the 2nd book, and there are 2 men in a few of those scenes. But I think when I started out writing, I've always written 3 or more scenes per book. So my books are always going to be spicy. But as time went on, I somehow ended up in this place in February where I released a book that had literally it was 25% sex. Like, the book was long. It was a thick boy. It was like 85,000 words, but which is one of my longest books. And it's like sex every other chapter. It's insane. Like, it was a lot. It needed to happen for the plot because my editor described these characters as the horniest people you've ever met, she's like, I just love them. They're just always horny, which is true. But I'm just like, why did this pour out of me? And now you know why I needed a break and the palate cleanser, because like this, I couldn't do it all the time. I need something else. I need like silly things. I need campy things. And that book was not campy. That book was just
I like
intense.
to say that switching positions is plot because something happened.
It's a new scene.
I think in this book, I had 1 scene that went on for 3 chapters. Like, it just didn't stop. And I mean, it happened in 3 different places, but it was just like, we're moving here, we're moving here. But yeah, if you like incredibly horny characters, Baz and Lainey in Wickedly His which is my next billionaire series after my Lakeshore Empire. It's the sister from the books before. So it takes place in London. And that series, Lakeshore Empire, took place in Chicago. Also very horny, lots of spice in those books, but not as much. Not as much.
So switching gears, can you tell us a little bit about your writing process and where your inspiration comes from for your stories?
Yeah, I don't know where my inspiration comes from other than, I like get an idea. I'm like, I'll be though. And I get an idea and I'm like, I'm going to do this. And then what happens is I put it in my notes app and then I stare at it. And then I say to my husband, hey, I have an idea. what do you think about this? Now, my husband is a fantasy author and
Okay.
he does my line edits. And so he reads all of my spicy scenes. Like, I can't wait for him to read the line edits, like for the next book, because the next book has a strap in it and it's going to be intense. And so I can't wait for him to read that scene. It's not absolutely mortifying for me at all because it's a trust exercise. That's my trust fall. But I'll spitball ideas with him all day. It came to the point one time where we were watching this thing about Miami and this stadium, this historic Miami Marine Stadium. And then we were like, what if we did that with Yacht Rock? And then we were like, let's make a rom com. And then he ran with this idea. And then we just riffed on it. We stayed up late and then we wrote the entire outline for a novella because I'm not a pantser. He's got a totally weird process that he's like a serial killer. Like he just puts notes everywhere. There's a door that he uses as a table. There's a pin board. I don't understand. And he does it by act. So he'll outline one act and then write the whole act and then outline the second act. I can't live like that. I have to have an entire outline before I start. And the outline will change. But like this one, I was surprised the one I'm working on now I've never nailed chapters like one to one to one. This one is sticking with the exact chapter format that I outlined. And I think that's because I use the Universal Fantasy book that we all have loved. And I will recommend that Universal Fantasy to anybody because I went through it. I went through my trope books. I really worked on this like it was an academic project. And the outline looks just like the chapters that I'm writing, which is rare. Usually they change and that's okay. But I have an Excel spreadsheet with all my character names, ages, occupations, any notes on them. And I have a tab in that spreadsheet for dogs. I have a tab for horses because there are always horses and dogs in my books. And I keep it all organized. It sounds ridiculous. That was one thing my husband gave me as a tip was to keep all my characters in a spreadsheet. So
Yeah.
you know where they are.
That's actually an amazing idea because one of my Erin sent the edits back. She's like, his eye color changes 4 times. I was like, yeah, did not plan that.
That's such a me thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this character's name has changed 3 times too. And I'm like, I will fix that. I promise.
Yeah, she told me to do. I need to start doing the same thing, especially as we cross over characters and we have like the side character gets their own story. They call them a series Bible, and I need to start doing them.
100%.
Yes.
Yes.
And you're really doing them because you have all the generations
That's
too.
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all that.
I have every generation. I have every house. Like, so if you write royals, I feel like this, especially if you write, like he started writing high fantasy. And so it's kind of the same thing. And so when I was working through everything, I was like, I can't keep everybody straight. And he's like, here's the way to do it. So full credit to him. He's very organized about some things. Other things I'm like, what are you doing? He still thinks that my coding and my spreadsheets is insane and nobody should be that obsessed with it. But you know, he gives me an idea and then I'm the perfectionist that takes it to 11. So
Yeah.
he's very chill. I am not chill. I would not describe myself as chill. Albie would not describe me as chill. No one is describing me as chill. Not even my kid, especially not my kid.
my goodness. That's all right.
Everyone
So
has a different process.
And so when you are sitting down to write, because I know how busy you are and all the things that are on your plate, what does that look like? So you said that you like do the outline and you do it off the Universal Fantasy, but do you like every day? Are you writing just a few days a week? What are we doing?
So I have a practice to write on a weekend morning at a coffee shop. And I have kept that practice since graduate school when I was working my dissertation. And then I finished my dissertation and then I was like, I need something for myself. And so I continued doing it. And it got interrupted for a while my kiddo was little and I had severe postpartum depression. And so one thing that we kept as sacred was I went to a coffee shop for 4 hours and just wrote. And that was just my ritual. And it was what kept me like sane. And when COVID hit, it was disrupted again because I couldn't leave the house. I'm high risk. So I couldn't leave the house. So my husband set up a nook in the basement and like put it together. And I had a place to sit and write. And I would close the door to our basement and I would just sit on the couch down in the basement and write there for 4 hours. And I would take down a carafe of French press coffee and just do it. And so I usually average on the weekend between 5 and 10,000 words. And during the week, I get words in where I can. I usually outline during the week if I'm working on a new project because that's easier for me to break up. Whereas writing is kind of I sit and do it. But I write where I can. Like to Nikki, to your like question earlier about like what you were doing with Learn to Skate, my kid is a derby master.
Oh,
And so
cool.
they're going around the track at 5,000 miles an hour and I'm just sitting on the sidelines typing
Yes.
smut. Like they're practicing for 3 hours on a Sunday. I'm there just typing away. So I get it in where I can. But yeah, I work a full-time job that's well over 40 hours a week and I have a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a lot.
you do it when you can.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. It's sweet though that your husband set up that little coffee shop for you during COVID. Like that's awesome. I love that.
Well, it was like I was losing my mind. And that's my first series that I released is very heavy at times. It's very, in terms of women's labor, there's a lot of discussion about what women are doing in this family for the men of the family. What are they giving up? And it's probably because I was in the depths of postpartum depression in the middle of a just recovering still in the middle of a pandemic where I had no childcare and I worked 60 hours a week. And so I was on call for incident response at a university and I just was miserable. I had no childcare. Like it was bad. So he did whatever he could to preserve my sanity because he worked off prem or on prem. So he was gone during the day. And I would just be throwing
Yeah.
snacks over a baby gate at my child
Yeah.
and trying to keep my sanity
Yeah, it's rough for sure.
while
for
leading
sure.
meetings.
Yeah. So while you are writing, do you like music? Do you like silence? What kind of vibes do you like other than your coffee shop?
Music. There's one shop I go to that I don't always turn on music because it's like the gay coffee shop. Like it's just the vibe is impeccable. I love the baristas. They're such cool kids and they are kids because I'm old, but they have really good musical taste and they pick like they were playing the Heated Rivalry soundtrack over and over and over again. So we're sitting at the coffee shop and I go up to the kid and I'm like, is this the Heated Rivalry soundtrack? And they're like, yes. And I was like, this is why I love this place because it's just the vibe. It's the vibe of the shop and it's so welcoming. And otherwise, what I do is just plug my headphones in and I listen to whatever vibe of music I want. I have a playlist for every book, but I don't listen to the same song over and over again. I don't do that. That would drive me crazy. And I don't listen to Broadway because if I do that, I will just sing every song and get absolutely nothing done.
For sure. You got to find the perfect vibe. Yeah.
And then, because you're so prolific, do you have a specific routine that you do to celebrate finishing writing the book? And then is that different from celebrating the publication?
Yeah, I don't celebrate finishing it. I probably should celebrate finishing drafts, but it feels like I wouldn't call myself prolific. I would call myself problematic because I move on. Like I get done and then I feel like, people have a book hangover. I get book hangovers really bad. I'm a mood reader. And when I find something that I love and I'm done, I like have a mental breakdown afterwards. I feel like that when I set characters aside, because A, I now have to figure out what my next project is, and B, I have to edit the damn thing, and I hate that. So I actually love the developmental edit process once I get going, but I have to force myself to start, and then I have so much fun. But like, I don't celebrate as much as I should on the front end. When a book releases, I usually buy myself a cake, and then I drink a beer because my book is releasing tomorrow. I don't drink very much anymore, but tonight I am. And I have a nice meal. And that's really it. But hey, it's something special and it's important to announce little things, like a book release.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And I took off work tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Perfect. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm off work.
I'm just about to finish the developmental edit on this book. And my reward is I bought myself new sheets.
Ooh,
and so once I
nice.
finish that book, I can put my new sheets on the bed and it's going to be so awesome. I'm really excited about it.
Fresh sheets, especially in the middle of summer, are a treat.
Yeah.
Like they're so nice.
Beautiful. My next book is releasing it's right after I'm at a signing event in Ottawa. So I'm going to early release it at the signing event. So I'm going to have the paperback and ebook available there. So I think that'll be a pretty good. And I'll actually go up for dinner. We'll do something because we'll be there anyway and there'll be lots of readers and it should be fun.
What's the name of that event again?
That's Pages and Pleasures, Ottawa.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So she's doing 3
I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go with you.
Well, not this year, but she just sent out the interest forms so just her email signups.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
As soon as signups are available, like if you sign up for her interest, then she'll send the applications out to everybody. So, because this is the first year she's doing the Ottawa one. She did the one in Kitchener this year and then last year. And they were both really, really good. Yeah, it's just a 1-day thing too. So it's not like a, huge commitment, but yeah, should be fun.
That's
You'll have
cool
to let us
though.
know how it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
want to
will.
hear. I love Ottawa. I did my
Yeah.
dissertation research in Ottawa, so it's super. I love Ottawa. Like I know
Yeah.
people make fun of me for this because they're like, "That's Ottawa." I'm like, "You're not a political scientist. Shut up."
Ottawa's
Also,
beautiful
like
though
you can
too.
speak French and English.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, it's
beautiful
gorgeous, and the
city.
cycling.
There's all kinds of things to do, lots of museums and cool stuff. We
Yeah,
took our kids back in 19 just on a little vacation, and it was really fun. We had a lot of fun, but they were pretty little. So now they're 13. So I think they'll remember it more. We're going to bring them, like, we're going to go on a little mini trip as part of the signing. So we'll get to do some sightseeing and stuff too.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's a nice
that's
city
cool.
for sure.
That's
Other than the
super cool.
crazy drivers, the drivers there.
I parked my car and moved it like once to go grocery
Yeah.
shopping and like turned it on occasionally, but I rode my bike everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a cyclist, and that was the
Nice.
best place I've ever lived with cycling infrastructure. It
Beautiful.
was great.
Beautiful.
Totally aside.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Sometimes we stray off a little bit. It's fine. All the time. Chaos, gremlins.
Yes.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So are you able to give us a hint at what you're working on now or your next project? I think you told us a little bit already.
So I am working on the second book in my Sapphic series. I'll be starting dev edits. By the time this comes out, hopefully I will have moved on to line edits, depending on when I get my edits back. But I also am working on a project that is genre bending, and that's a male-female romance, and it's definitely different than anything I've written before in some ways, but it's more political fiction, much like Executive Decision. And so it's kind of more in that vein. It's got lots of twists and turns. It's kind of gothic novel sort of vibes as well, which is one of my favorite things. And so it's been fun to work on. It's totally out there. And my goal is to pretty it up and query it. So
Nice.
once that goes out, I won't be able to say anything about it while
Yeah.
it's in a query. But the goal is to get it out there and pitch it, writing market. But that's what I've got next. And then I've got another couple of billionaires. I hope to release my entire Sapphic series by the end of the year. So that'll be books 1 through 3. And then I have another Sapphic series that I've already started writing that's behind that. So,
Nice.
That's a lot of books to come out
Yeah.
this year. Oh my gosh.
well, I am only going to release, I think I'll probably release at most 2 more books this year and a novella. Like full novels 2 and then a novella probably this year.
Nice. But you got a lot of stuff on the go, which is great because that's, you're looking ahead, right?
Yeah. And I think it's good to plan ahead so you have that cushion. If life happens, you're like, okay, well, I still have these 3 books that I can easily release and get through life for a while.
Yeah. It's good though to, in my experience, put 3 books out in a year in a series if you can, because that 3rd book is where you make all your money. Like that's been my experience. Is readers want to binge. I'm the same way. I totally get it. But if I can binge an entire series in like 2 weeks at most, I will. And so anytime you run a free promo, you see this. I'm running one right now on Executive Decision. People just go crazy. They reread. And so that 3rd book is so critical. So I don't see series get to critical mass until 3 books. So that's my motivation for spending the money on editing, pushing it, and doing the grind of marketing in hopes that by book 3, it's found its readers.
Yeah.
It's just such a crapshoot. You just never know.
For sure.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah.
True. So thinking about this shift that you're doing into Sapphic and with the whole series coming out and then working on a second series in it, do you feel like you're making a good home for yourself then in the Sapphic community, romance specifically?
Yeah, I think that's been the most fun part about it is actually I focus on building community first with this book. And what made me put it out was I almost quit. Like I was done. I was like, I got to the point where I was in queries and a submission to a small press and it got ugly. I was told I needed to rewrite it as male, which I refused to do. That's not the story. It's a story of 2 women. There's no way I could rewrite it. Its own voices. It doesn't work as a male female story at all. It's rivals. It just doesn't work. And so I was like, this has to be 2 rival Sopranos. This is what this story is. Like this is stupid. So I pulled it. And then I had readers that had read early versions that were like, "You're not gonna release it? You're just gonna let it sit there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I am." And so I reworked it. I was like, "I gotta think about this like a traditional release. I've gotta build a community. I've gotta find influencers. I've gotta find people. I've gotta work with other authors." And since then, I've found so many wonderful authors, so many wonderful readers. This community is very uplifting. The community is just very different than it is the male female romance space, at least with billionaires. It feels very much like you're on your own, kid. Every author for themselves. And you try to work with other authors, but it's just not the same market. Whereas Sapphic, everybody's hyping everybody all the time. So that was the coolest thing was like having these authors that I loved, like ask me
That's awesome.
questions and I would send them a message and they would respond and be like, here's what you got to do. Here's where you got to go. This is what's happening. Like, do you want to come to this thing? And that's really cool. And so then I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I was going to have a release party at Pages and Grapes in Grand Rapids here in Michigan. And I talked to Heather, who's wonderful, and said, "Can I host a release party?" And of course, she said yes because I go there a lot, and I'll be like, I feel like that's the vibe. Like she's like my
She's awesome.
kid's like godmother at this point. Like my kid probably likes her as much as all of us, and she spoils the heck out of my kiddo. But I was like, why don't I turn this into an event? Which is stupid because why would I take that on top of everything else? But I
Because we
tried to
love
like
projects.
we do. I just remember one of our friends, Tyler Page, one of our author friends, she's like, if you want community, you're going to have to build it. And so that's something Albie has taken on with GR Lit Fest. But I was like, well, if there isn't a Sapphic reader event, why don't I make one?
Yeah.
So I brought in, like, I put the call out to readers and authors that were interested. I invited, so one of our friends, Mika, she's coming up. Mika Usher, she's another romance author who writes a contemporary rom-com. She has a Sapphic book. She's a queer person. Like we're all under the same umbrella. She's so wonderful. So she's coming. And then we have two other romance authors coming as well. They're coming from Ohio, Illinois. I don't know how I got these people to come out, but it was like I just put it out there to the universe and they were like a Sapphic event for Sapphics. I'm in.
Nice.
So our tagline is sounds queer, I'm in, which
so good.
Yeah.
Sloan Spencer, who's also coming, proposed that. So I'm super excited, but it's scary. And that's happening this Saturday. And my goal, as delusional as it is to see if I can't do this every year somewhere and just have something for Sapphic. It doesn't have to be Sapphic exclusive, but it centers Sapphic authors and Sapphic readers and queer stories. But since there aren't that many spaces that really include Sapphic stories like they do male romance, it'd be really nice if we had a space that really centered those stories and gave those women a chance to really shine. So yeah, I don't know why I'm the person to do it. I don't think I am probably, but if nobody's doing it, then somebody's got to do it, you know?
Sounds like we're all just playing off the same playbook. I think it's the Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself theory.
Yeah.
Because I just had the same thing. It was, we've been talking at the last Pages and Pleasures I went to. There's an author that I'm quite good friends with around here, Frances Everly. She also writes some hockey romance. And we were like, wouldn't it be cool if we had a hockey romance thing in Canada, somewhere around us? And we're like, well, I guess we could. That's something we're discussing right now for 2027, probably, because it's probably going to be a big undertaking. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If the need is there,
my mistake.
If the things are not there, then sometimes you gotta do it yourself.
Learn from your
mistake. What's your mistake, Albie?
Yeah. I wanted somebody to do a literary fest in Grand Rapids since like 2018. Nobody was doing it. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Who's going to step up? And then finally, I think it was like, 25? It was like January 2025. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll put out a call to see if anybody's interested. And then a flood of interest. And I'm like, great. Now I have 6 months to plan everything.
That's awesome.
Luckily, I have 3 people helping. Like, we're all co-founders, but it was just like, you just wait for somebody else to do it. It's never going to happen.
You really have to. Yeah. So you have that event coming
but
up.
I will say,
Sounds Queer, I'm in, which is awesome.
So Sapphic Saturday, Pages and Grapes is happening. I want this to be an annual thing, potentially, but yes. Our tagline is sounds queer. I'm in, and we've got a cake.
Mhm.
We've got snacks. I bought way too many snacks, I'm sure. You got to have snacks. And I told everybody I bring lemonade and cold brew. And people are just jazzed.
Nice.
I keep getting these messages from readers. They're like, "I'm so excited." And then other readers are like, "I wish I was in Michigan. I would travel for this." And I'm like, "I'm not ready to host anything major, but man, CastCon is another like that's a Sapphic reader event that's happening, but it's expensive. I applied to
Mhm.
go as an author, but it's always like really wonderful, I'm sure, but the ticket is like $600. And so that's
Oof.
not
Yeah.
attainable for most of us. And it's not in the Midwest. It's only in the Northeast. So it'd be nice if we had
Mm.
something like that here. I always wonder like, am I allowed to host that event as a straight appearing person? I don't know. But again, if nobody else is gonna do it, well, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have any other live events coming up?
A ton. I'm doing a signing in here in Kalamazoo where I live at Booked Up. So that's a new bookstore and they're wonderful and they are a queer owned bookstore, which is super cool too. They are hosting me for a signing and then I'm doing Pride here in Kalamazoo when this will premiere a day after Pride, I think. So yeah, I'm doing Pride, and then I'm doing the Detroit Festival of Books in July, and I'm
Okay.
doing Books on the Yard, I think it's called, by Crooked Nook, and that's gonna be here in Kalamazoo as well. And I'm doing Pages of Glass in August in Toledo. So far, those are my
I'm
confirmed
excited for
events.
that one.
Lots of
Yeah, I
good
am
things
too.
coming up, though. That's good.
Yeah, busy.
Mm.
And I'm sure you have them all
Yeah.
listed on your social media or your website so people
I
can find
do.
you.
I've got a little placard. And if you want to know where you're going to find me, you need to subscribe to my newsletter because that's where you're going to get the most up-to-date information because I send it out all the time. Like, "Hey, come see me." And here's where you
Perfect.
can
Yeah.
see me
Yeah.
because it does change over time.
Oh, yeah.
June is going to be
Yeah.
busy at the start. I'm trying to save some of it because my kid has their own Pride celebration and we're doing Pride for them. So oh man, June's going to be a busy month.
Fair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So for you, what is the best part of doing these events, and what would you say is also the biggest challenge of doing live events?
I think the best part is meeting readers and having them come up to you and be like, "I'm so excited to meet you." And you're like, "Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?" But it's so nice to see readers and to meet other authors because sometimes it's the only
Mhm.
way that I see them. Like Danny
Hmm.
Galliero is another good friend of mine, and I swear I only see her at events. So I'll see her at Pages of Glass, and I'm super excited to see her again. She finally met my kid. Like my kid knows about her, but has not met her. So my kid was like, "It's mom's other friends that I don't know," and it's like, "Yeah, because I only see them at events, right? But we talk all the time, you know." I love that. I
Mhm.
love seeing readers come back again and again, seeing readers come just for me across 3 states, like, that's crazy. Bringing books that they bought and bringing them to me, those are such exciting things. And then there's the obvious, like, problems that come with signings, which is I'm neurodivergent, I have to mask like crazy. Part of that has to do with the fact that I have a pen name and a alter ego, and she is much more femme and exciting than real me is that works in IT. Like, I love that I can be her in many ways because it means that I don't have to be myself for a minute, but it is really draining. And I would be lying if I didn't say that it really ran my batteries. And it's not because I don't love what I do or love the readers, it's just
Yep.
noises and lights are very overwhelming for
Yep.
me. And I also don't like touching. So, like, it's really hard to be like, I like you guys a lot, but also please don't hug me. And it's really hard to
Yeah.
say that. Sometimes I'd be like, I would love to put up a sign that's like, I love you, but no hugs.
I think that's totally reasonable. Like you can set your boundaries and
Yeah.
that's totally fine.
And I've
It's
seen
really hard.
more and more events are having the color coding where
Yeah.
like
Yes.
I'll accept hugs, you have to ask, and then no hugs.
Yeah.
And so that way you don't even have that awkward conversation of can I hug you?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Type thing.
That would be nice if everybody
Yeah.
did that. That would be really great. Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
I just don't really want to hug randos. I don't even like hugging people I
No,
know
that's yeah.
sometimes. Like, you guys all know, ask me before you hug me. Like, the assumption is you can hug me, right? But people I don't know very well, even my family, sometimes I'm just touched out. So my kid is the only one who's
Yeah.
allowed to just
Yeah.
always hug me.
It's all about consent, which
Yeah,
is an
I
important
get
part of
that.
romance books, I think. To me, it's one of the most important things. So I think it's
Yep.
Yeah.
totally valid.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we have a real challenge for you. Which of all the characters you've written is your favorite? I
Oh,
know
that's
this is
very
like the
easy.
impossible
Like
question. Oh, is
this
it?
is no, this is so easy for me. Okay, so Leah, who's this one here, she's my favorite, the redhead. She's my absolute favorite. She steals every scene she's in. I've been writing her since she was an infant. She is so funny, and I can't not love her. I love writing her. I'm actually really sad when this series ends that I'm gonna lose her. But now I've like writing the second Sapphic series, and I'm like, she's coming back. She's coming back. She's even a big part of the Royals Billionaires book that I'm releasing at the end of May. She's a secondary character in that book too. I have a problem. I love her so much. It's to the
She's like a
point
real
where my
person to you.
kid thinks that she's a real person. Like she really, really is a real person in our house. She and Lourdes are like real people that we know that we talk about. Like they are real people. But she's my favorite. She's my favorite child. I'm sorry. Everyone else pales in comparison. I'm trying to even think of who would be second. It's so hard to choose a second, but it's so easy to choose a first.
Yeah. Do you think your readers would agree with you? Like that's their favorite as well? Or would they say a different character?
No, I think that they would choose, depending on where they caught me and what they read, I think they would. People actually love Leah. Like she was in Royally Drawn, which is my Royal series that I released right before my Billionaire series, but they loved her in that. But I think they would probably say there's one character, Winston, who is from so he's in from Pilot to Princess and Duchess Material, Duke Material. He's a cinnamon roll, and people fell in love with him. Like they ride or die for him. They love him. And Cal from Executive Decision, those two heroes, people are ride or die for. Cal is king, is what a lot of readers say, and he's goals. Like he's the billionaire who will show up and do the dishes and put you to bed and do things and then leave you alone. And he's ideal in that regard, I think. And he's such a total daddy. So yeah, people love him. I think
Love
it
that.
would be him and Winston who would literally move heaven and earth for Lucy, his wife. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we want in a man for sure, especially a fictional
Yeah,
one.
uncomplicated. He's there for you.
Then perfect. That's what I want. I love a cinnamon roll too. Most of my guys are. It's just how they turn out. So then the other thing we like to ask is one thing that will let you know you've made it as an author that's not money, because obviously we all want to, make a living. But what's one thing?
This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me as an author. But I knew that my Billionaire series had become a thing when I got a text message from my ex-boyfriend. That was a picture of my book in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he lives. His wife had brought home my book from the bookstore and said, I saw this book on TikTok. Because he's like, I've seen this book somewhere. And we're amicable. Like we're amicable. But his wife and my parents live in the Charlotte area. So my book is there. It's really weird. The whole thing is really weird, but they didn't see it. He saw it because his wife brought it home. And I was like, oh my God. Like, 'cause she saw it on TikTok and she's like, I'm going to buy this book. And he's like, my ex girlfriend wrote that book. And
That's
that
so
was
cool.
weird. That was so weird. I was like, well, if my ex-boyfriend's wife is picking up this book, I mean, I must be somewhat famous, but I think I will really have made it when I'm like in the middle of like a train station or something and somebody knows who I am. And then I'll be scared. Then I'll be like, okay, now I can go hide in a hole because I don't want people
Yeah.
to see me.
Seriously.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then another thing that we really like to do is we like to ask our authors if you have a question for our listeners out there. And then for everyone listening out there, we'll be posting this on our Instagram for you to answer. And then you can also comment in the YouTube video. Okay. So what would you like
I
to
have
ask our
I have
listeners?
prepped this. Like I've been waiting for
Perfect.
this. Um, I want to know from readers what story, you can gender bend it or whatever, but what story do you want to end with a sapphic love story? Like, I want a sapphic HEA. What, like, text, film, book, otherwise, and you can gender bend it. But what would you want to see? Because my entire life I have spent going like for example, Miss Congeniality. I wanted that to be Sapphic. Like, make it Sapphic.
That'd be good.
There's
Yeah.
so many rom-coms that I'm like, why did you end up with this beige man? Your friend is amazing. You have great chemistry with her. What is wrong with you? But I would love to know, like, what cultural phenomena, text, something would you make Sapphic if you could choose? This is what I'm dying to know, because I do a lot of this. Like, I ask this question a lot, and I'm like, there have to be other women out there. There have to be other women out there that do this all the time too. I get really disappointed, actually.
Yeah.
Don't dangle it in front of me. But if I could write it,
I've
I
definitely
would.
done that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's hard too because you're watching a movie or something, a show, and you're like, well, I feel like I'm queer baited based on
Yes.
what's happening, and I'm like, y'all are wrong. I'm not wrong.
Yes. And that's what's happening. This is going to be a complete obscure cultural reference that I don't have any investment in, but my husband and my kid love Street Fighter. And so there's a new Street Fighter movie coming out, which I will not be watching. I'm sorry. But they are queer baiting in that trailer. And my husband's like, oh, yeah, there's going to be, like, I'm telling you, these two women are going to end up together. And I'm like, this is the story of my life, and they won't. Like, they're lying to us. Like, they're lying to us. So that happens all the time. Rom-coms do it, though. I don't think they intend to, but like, Happiest Season, it comes to mind when I'm like, you're going to make me angry is what you're going to do there.
And then we have one final question for you. If you could read any trope for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Age gap.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Age gap.
Do you have a minimum
writing it?
That age gap that is at age gap?
Yeah.
I know
I feel like it depends on the age of the characters. I think it really generally, I think the conception of it is like 10 years. Like, I think that's the generally agreed upon definition of it is 10 years. But I think for younger characters, like if you have like an 18-year-old, 8 years might be acceptable, but I will probably never write an 18-year-old character. I think the youngest I've ever written a heroine is 21, and I probably won't do that again. Probably not. But most of my characters in this series that I'm writing, the Sapphic series, are in their 30s or 40s. So they're all millennials. But in this case, like, I have a 5-year gap between Leah and Lourdes. That's not an age gap. But for book 2, between Betty and Mary, it's like a 13-year age gap. That's an age gap. 13 is an age gap. 29 and 42 is an age gap.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And I will read it. I will eat it up. I love reading age gap. Like, if I could just read one trope over and over. It's sad. And our friend Ty, like, hates age gap. Like, I will malign her now, Tyler, because she's always making fun of people reading. Like, she'll be making fun of me. She's like, you always just read age gap. Like, that's not original. And I'm like, dude,
that's also her love language right there. Her love language is to make fun of us.
She is so, I swear to God, she and my husband are sometimes the same person, gender bent, because like they love B movies and they love taking the piss. And I swear to God, that's what she does. But she's always making fun. We were in a book club together, and she just was like, you bought another age gap book. And that's exactly what it is. Like, I will gladly buy an age gap book. It's just a trope I devour. I'm sorry. I'll do it until I die. It's probably mortifying at this point.
No.
Like, if I look back on my shelf right now, even the Sapphic or not, it like there's tons of age gap Sapphic books behind me. Like, it's all the books. Like, age gap Sapphic, billionaire, contemporary rom-com, doesn't matter. I love age gap.
Love it. Nice. Awesome.
I don't set out to write it.
Thank you so much, Maude, for coming out.
He doesn't.
I'm really glad we got to peek behind the curtain of your author life. Before we forget, can you tell our listeners where to find you on social media? And then we'll post the links in the show notes.
Sure. Yeah. So if you want to find me, I have 2 Instagram accounts. One is at Maude_Winters_fiction, and that's my Sapphic account. And at Maude Writes Billionaires is my billionaire account, because those 2 audiences don't always overlap. So find me in either one of those places, and find me at Maude Winters on TikTok. But Instagram is probably where you're going to find me the most often. And obviously, come join my newsletter, because you'll get a free book. So if you go to Palace, spelled PALAS, publishing.com, you can get my newsletter and a free book. So if you want a free book,
do that. Sign up.
It's an age gap.
For all our perfect.
Of course it's
Of course.
I love that.
Yeah.
And for all our listeners out there, if there's a question we missed and should have asked, let us know in the comments below or send us an email. And just thank you so much for coming out with us, Maude Winters. It was amazing. We had a great chat. Loved it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
See you guys.
Thanks for getting dirty with us. If you had fun, leave a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. New episodes will be released every Wednesday, and we've got an amazing lineup of authors to share with you.
If there's someone you'd love to see on our show, or you've got burning questions for your favorite authors, send us an email to backstagewiththebookbabes@gmail.com or leave us a comment on our social media accounts. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, Backstage with the Book Babes. Links and applications for authors to join us as guests are at linktree/Backstage with the Book Babes.
You can follow me, Albie Blake, with that handle on social media, specifically Instagram and TikTok.
You can follow me, Nikki Jewell, and learn about my books at authornikkijewell.com. I'm also on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at NikkiJewell_books.
Thanks again for joining the party. Keep turning those pages and keep it spicy.